Should you sign up for an island hopping tour in Boracay? If you do sign up for one, how to make the most out of it? Which places are worth spending extra time and which one should you skip? Where should you purchase an island hopping tour? Should you do a private or group tour? In this video, you will find out answers to all of these questions and more, so keep watching. We have done island hopping tours on every island that we visited during our travel, so we could not miss doing the same in Boracay. After all, there is only that much time that you can spend at the beach and pool. There really is not that much more to do at the main Boracay island. If you are staying at one of the beachfront resorts, you will be swamped by the sellers trying to sell you the island hopping tour or other activities the minute you walk out of the resort. However, before you decide to buy a ticket to one of those activities from the street sellers, we strongly suggest you to check for the official prices. There is a board with the official prices of all the Boracay activities by the pontoon bridge where all the tours are leaving from. That should be your general guide. You might be able to find a bit better price if you walk around the main strip, but to be honest, the prices will be almost the same everywhere. The better question is whether you should go for a private tour or a group tour. If budget is not an issue, then we would highly suggest spending a little extra and doing the private tour. In a bit, we will discuss a lot more about why this would be our recommendation, but for now, we will just say that island hopping in Boracay is a lot different from island hopping in any other place we visited so far. So you may ask why we say that. Well, it comes down to what places you will get to visit during your tour. In most other islands that we visited, at least 3/4 of the places on the island hopping tour itinerary was worth the visit. In Boracay, sad to say, there are only 2 places that are worth visiting. Additionally, one of them is best explored only if you do a private tour, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. All Boracay island hopping tours begin at this main mini dock. Here is where you will need to sign up before you can leave the island with any captain, private or group tour. Since we did a private tour, our recommendations will be based on a private tour experience. We recommend you to set up your tour the day before your trip and make an arrangement with your captain to leave as early as possible before all the group tours depart. This is especially important if you want to have some alone time and take nice pictures at the sites. Once the masses get there, it's all over. We were lucky and left pretty early. The first stop was supposed to be the Crocodile Island. As we were nearing this rock formation, however, we soon realized that there is actually not much to see there. Our captain confirmed that some group tours go there for snorkeling, but if you think about it logically, do you really think that you will see any nice corals in a place where masses of tourists go every day? We don't think so, so we just passed by the Crocodile Island and headed forward. The next stop was supposed to be the Magic Island. The name of the island comes from the fact that during high tide, most of the island is underwater and you can actually see the small beach only during the low tide. If you are into cliff diving, then it might be worth going there, but if not, then we would skip that one as well. That leaves you with the first interesting spot that's worthwhile the island hopping tour, and that's Crystal Cove Island. We would strongly recommend making it clear to your captain that this is where you want to spend the bulk of your time. In order for you to make the most of the Crystal Cove Island visit, you need to pay a small entrance fee to get into the fun area. If you don't want to do that, you will be left only with the White Beach experience. If you stay at Boracay near the White Beach, that's not what you need to be wasting your money and time to come all the way here. so we highly recommend paying the fee and going inside. We would also recommend to make a deal with one of the captain's helpers and offer him little extra money to take you around the island and to take pictures for you. This will make your visit definitely a lot more worth it and a lot more time efficient. Since we did not know what to expect, we kind of rushed through the entire island to see all the attractions before all the tourists come in. In retrospect, however, what would be a better way is to go through all the attractions first and then return to fully enjoy a few of the places that you like the most. So what is there to see at Crystal Cove Island? In our opinion, it is really well maintained area with numerous beautiful spots for pictures. You can just sit at different photo spots for a few minutes and admire the beauty of the surroundings. Two main attractions are Cove 1 and Cove 2. Understand that if you have a large body frame and or knee and hip problems, you may not be able to get to either one of these coves as it requires a bit of dexterity walking up and down the stairs. The Cove 1 is not that difficult to get in. The only thing you need to get through is a little fear of heights while going down the steep staircase. We highly recommend you to wear water shoes, otherwise you will be hurting once you get in and have to step on those stones. It is also quite slippery, so make sure that you have good water shoes, not some cheap junk like we did, since we bought our at the last minute. During good sea conditions, you may be able to swim in either one of those coves, but when we visited, the sea was rather rough, so swimming was not allowed for safety reasons. There are few nice photo shoot spots inside the cave, and even though the lighting is not that great, if you are lucky, you can get some nice pictures with the splashing waves behind you. Once you get off the Cove 1, you will walk a few minutes through the island to Cove 2. Along the way, there will be several nice photo spots which also make a nice rest spot to look around and admire the scenery. We had the entire area for ourselves, no waiting in line to take pictures at the photo spots. That's the advantage of a private tour, so make sure you get here early. We really like the entire area. As you can see, there are workers constantly doing maintenance to make the place even nicer. Unfortunately, at this point our GoPro started acting up and the quality of the footage is not exactly what we would like. You will have a nice view of the Crocodile Island as well as the Magic Island. Getting to Cove 2, however, will be a lot more challenging, and here we have to say that if you are not at least a bit athletic, you will have problems. So look at these footages and decide if that is something you can manage. There is a staff to assist you to make sure that everybody is safe, so don't worry that you will be all alone. The entrance to the cave, as you can see, is quite narrow, rocky and slippery, with water splashing left and right. It is also not a good idea for someone who suffers from claustrophobia and is afraid of being trapped in narrow spaces. The tunnel that you have to crawl through is not that long, but it is a tunnel and you don't want to freak out in the middle of it. The overhead is pretty low, so you will have to crawl in a semi-squat position. If you are a tall dude, good luck. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, folks. Last push, watch your head, and we are in. As you can see, we were lucky that we were there first. As we were getting out, the first tourists started to come in. There are several places where you can sit down in a shade and relax for a bit before you leave the area. So this is what happens if you do not go inside. You will be basically stuck under the blazing sun on a white sand beach. We think that you are paying for an island hopping tour to experience something new because you had enough of white sand beach on Boracay Island. So make sure you definitely go inside the Crystal Cove Island. Our last stop was the famous Puka Beach. While we think that it is a nice place to spend some time, it is basically a tourist spot. There are several photo spots where you can take some pictures, but understand that for most of those spots you will have to wait even 20 minutes to get that shot. Because Puka Beach is a very popular destination, we will post a separate video review of Puka Beach as our next video. So what is our final verdict about the island hopping tour in Boracay? It is actually quite disappointing because in the past it used to include a trip to Carabao Island and several surrounding islands. That is not the case anymore since no tourist boats are allowed anymore at Carabao Island. What's left is basically only a few relatively uninteresting small islands around Boracay Island. If you really want to do the island hopping tour, then I would strongly suggest spending most of your time at Crystal Cove Island and either completely skip the rest of the other spots on the itinerary or spend there only very little time. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel and we will see you in our next video.